Maddie Smiley, the Friendly Podcast Guide. Every week, I put out an episode about a specific podcast to help you figure out if it's your next favorite podcast. Those episodes come out on Tuesdays. I also put out another episode each Thursday that's a little more personal, like a list of podcasts I like for the season we're in, how I'm using podcasts in my own life, or something like that. This is one of those episodes, and this week it's all about podcasts about the ocean, because it's World Oceans Day. My family is visiting California to spend a week at the beach next month, and when I found out June 8th is World Oceans Day, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to talk about some great ocean podcasts. The first ocean podcast is a kid podcast because you know how much I love using kid podcasts as a mom. This podcast is called Deep Blue Sea, and it introduces kids to different sea creatures in each episode, from giant squids to salmon to great white sharks. This podcast is exclusive to Spotify, so if you don't have a Spotify account, you just have to make a free one to get access to the show. Each episode is about 10 to 15 minutes long, and there are 18 episodes altogether. My kids absolutely love this podcast, so I'm sure your kids will like it too. This next ocean podcast is a short series by National Geographic. We get to join National Geographic explorer Tara Roberts on a historic journey as she documents some of the 1,000 slave ships that wrecked in the Atlantic Ocean during the transatlantic slave trade. She follows a group of Black divers who are dedicated to finding and helping document the wrecks. This podcast is hauntingly beautiful, with sound effects and music that transport you to the Middle Passage. Each episode is about 40 minutes long, and there are 6 episodes in the series. The next ocean podcast is called So, You Want to Be a Marine Biologist. Kara Muzia is the host, and she starts every episode, well, at least every episode I've listened to, with a couple of ocean-adjacent jokes, and they really just set the tone as fun and lighthearted as you dive into some of these fabulous topics about the ocean. She chats with experts on all sorts of different subjects that have to do with the ocean. And at the end of every interview, she asks some fun and thought-provoking questions like, what is your favorite sea creature? And what does the ocean mean to you? Each episode is about an hour long, and right now, Kara is taking a break from making new episodes, but that gives you time to catch up on the 100 episodes that she's already put out there. Before I tell you about more ocean podcasts, we're going to take a quick break to talk about Olive and June nail polish. I love having nail polish on, but I don't handle it well when my nail polish starts to chip a day or two after I paint my nails. That is where Olive and June comes in. I use their Mani system, and my nail polish will stay on for a week with no chipping. It brings me so much joy every time I look at my nails with these fun colors, and I want you to have that joy too. You can get 20% off a Mani or Pedi system by using the affiliate link in the show notes. The next ocean podcast is called Dugongs and Sea Dragons, which is described as a Dungeons and Dragons podcast featuring an international collection of nerdy marine biologists. Even if you haven't ever played Dungeons and Dragons, there's a high likelihood that you would still like this podcast. It's a fun story with marine biology themes thrown in for good measure. Each episode is about 30 minutes long, and they're currently on episode 55 of season 2, so there is plenty of content for you to listen to. The last podcast about the ocean that I'm talking about today is called Sea Creatures, and as the name suggests, this podcast talks all about the awesome animals that live beneath the waves. On each episode, host Matt Testoni has a conversation with a guest about a specific sea creature, and the cool part is that the guest has spent time with and interacted with whatever creature they're talking about. There are episodes about orcas, jellyfish, sea turtles, and so many more cool underwater creatures. Each episode is about 30 minutes long, and there are currently 39 episodes for you to dive into. Happy World Oceans Day, and I hope that you celebrate by listening to one of these fabulous ocean podcasts. Also, if you want to add some color to your life or the life of someone you love, use my affiliate link to get 20% off an Olive and June Mani or Pedi system. Talk to you soon. Y'all, this is the second time I have recorded this because the first time I had my AirPods in and the microphone in the AirPods for some reason, was the one that was picking up my sound instead of my very fancy microphone that I bought specifically for podcasting with a pop filter on it. So, here's to round 2.